Cosplayers, what's one cosplay you will never do again and why? Stormtrooper. It was custom made to fit me and I was so uncomfortable in it. It was hot and I couldn't see. I also would be lucky if I came out of it without cutting myself. Batman. Some kid pulled my cape and it took my helmet and back piece out. They were all one piece of armor and I couldn't put them back together. Daredevil. I couldn't see shit. Not exactly cosplay. But I went to a Halloween party as Waldo once. Terrible idea. Everyone wants you hiding in the back of their photos. And you hear haha I found you at least 800 times. Never again. Never again will I cosplay full anime plate armor. I went as Gilgamesh from Fate's Stay Night all 3D printed. 8 unrelenting hours trapped in a plastic cocoon. Skin unable to breathe. Pinching. Serious chafing. Huge welts and blisters all over and on the way home I turned in a funny way snapped went the armor and by that point I had enough I took everything off threw it in the nearest bin and made the remaining journey home barefoot in cycling shorts and a red cape. One of the 300. I'll never be in that kind of shape again. I dressed as Link and got the normal oh hi Zelda which I think is funny and laughed it off. But also got a lot of nerdy guys questioning me about my dedication to the Legend of Zelda. Shti like. You're not a true fan if you didn't play. Insert their fav Zelda game here, and if I stated that I have indeed played it. They would then question every detail about the game to prove it. A girl could dress up as anyone and get harassed though honestly. Motoko from Ghost in the Shell in her sack full tech suit gear. Full bodysuit with Gore-Tex and ended up getting heat stroke in the first 30 minutes. Haven't worn it since. Edit. Cosplay tax for those asking. Faye Valentine for Cowboy Bebop. Not because of awkward guy comments. But because of other lady cosplayers that would come up to me and talk about how Faye is a good starter cosplay because I guess it's not intricate enough. I got tired of the condescension. Lord Business from the Lego movie. Or actually any Lego character for that matter. The head was too heavy. And I could barely move. Edit. Okay wow. I didn't quite expect this comment to get as much attention. But thank you for the gold. Colon. Close bracket. Exactly. Yes. Rorschach. I saw almost nothing under that mask and couldn't enjoy anything. Nami from One Piece. It was a bikini top. Had a nip slip. Which wasn't too bad. And a dude jumped in front of me. Let me know. And covered me while I fixed it. The problem is that he then spent the next 2 days thanking me for the experience. Bro. One thank you is weird. 2 days? Edit. Thanks for the gold. Master Chief. Every Halloween at school I would wear an over-the-top costume and for my senior year I wanted to go above and beyond. So I worked overtime to buy Halo 4 Master Chief armor. Only problem was that the armor pieces were made of plastic so I couldn't sit completely down without breaking the thigh pieces. So I had to go through every class squatting over my seat instead of actually sitting in it. My legs were killing me at the end of the day. Also my costume was very loud. The sound of plastic rubbing against each other was terrible. Now I usually go for smaller cosplay. This year I went as a vault dweller and I could actually move and stuff. Graffiti skin tracer from Overwatch. Paint kept transferring from the gas mask onto my face and my mask was literally dripping water from my breathing. It was hot and stuffy and gross. Edit. I don't know how to add pics on mobile. Lame I know, but I'm pretty sure I have some far enough down my Instagram feed at Burnt Waffles cosplay. Darth Vader. Wore it for years in 2-hour stints. Vision is awful and zero skin is shown anywhere so it's hot. Real hot. Lots of wiring for lights and sound mean there's always something that can, and does, go wrong. Lots of kids coming up and randomly pressing buttons on the chest. Plus the cape is hard to control. Now I keep him permanently displayed on a 6 feet 5 inches mannequin. Edit. Clarified that this is not the wrestler by adding Darth. I dressed up in a pun costume that was a mix between Inspector Gadget and a go-go dancer. I was Go-Go Gadget. I had neon fishnets, string lights in my trench coat, light up glasses, and all these other rave gadgets. I wouldn't do it again. Because wearing heelys for hours tore up my feet. Edit. Holy shit. This blew up. I went to work and came back to all this. Most of you want to see the costume. I didn't get many pictures. But here's a decent one. Princess Zelda. I got a lot of compliments. But also an uncomfortable number of guys kept trying to flirt with me. Might have been even weirder if I wasn't a straight dude. Shadow the Hedgehog. It was a mistake and I don't think I need to explain further. Edit. Thanks for the gold. And no, I didn't do blackface for those wondering. Professor X. The only reason I chose it was because I had torn my LCL and still wanted to attend the event, so I rented a wheelchair so I could get around the event. So many people came up and sat in my lap thinking I was just cosplaying as him. Thank goodness my friend's parents lived close and we went and grabbed ice packs that we threw on my knee so people would quit doing it. Snow White. I wore it to a major comic convention and people would not let me walk. Parents were literally shoving their children into my arms and making me take pictures with their kids. Kids were flocking to me, only nice part. And parents were pushing each other around to take a pic with me and their child first. I was trying to take the shuttle to the convention and I had a small crowd around me that were barely shift so I could get into the shuttle. My boyfriend at the time had to literally yank me and run away into the shuttle because we almost missed it. The same thing proceeded to happen in the shuttle. Off the shuttle and attempting to walk to the convention. And at the convention. After 2 more hours of this I demanded we go back to the hotel so I could change and actually enjoy the convention. The worst part was people shouting, "I tease Cinderella. I tease Sleeping Beauty. No, people know I'm Snow White, dang it." Asterisk. Charlie Chaplin. He's easily mistaken for another guy. Edit. Chaplin not Chaplin. Recruit from Rainbow Six Siege. Everyone thought I was a terrorist and had to leave. Hamilton. Turns out prop guns look like guns that are illegal. Especially dueling pistols. Edna. From The Incredibles. I am a short gothic lady and at the time had the same haircut as her. Went as her for a Halloween party and it's my nickname ever since. Especially when I'm angry. I f***ing hate it. Edit. OMG, my first popular comment is about my nickname and I'm freaking out. Also, I hate it because I also see the similarities between us and it makes me mad because I wanted to be Violet when the movie came out. Thanks Reddit. Made a pretty great Solaire of Astora costume with real chainmail and armor and holy shit, after 6 hours of wearing that heavy ass metal my back, shoulders, and arms were fucking wrecked. Edit. Whoa. First gold. Praise the sun. Widowmaker. I felt like my tits were gonna pop out of that suit at any second. And the body paint tattoos were always rubbing off cause of the suit and armor. Also, someone bumped into me and broke the end piece of my gun and a piece of my armor. It was so uncomfortable. Never again. Slenderman. I got really into the craze back in the day being a 6 feet 3 inches skinny dude. And I thought of myself highly for having been a Marble Hornets fan car before the game was ever released. The issue is that I have a big head nose. So through the morph suit you just see all my features. Including my dark brown hair and smooshed nose. I ended up having a sore nose for days. And the soles of my morph suit were extremely darkened from walking around in platform boots for hours on end. Lucy Hartfilia from Fairy Tale. So, the costume itself wasn't the problem. It's pretty simple to be fair. But it had other issues. Firstly, I have small boobs and the character doesn't. The amount of people that mentioned this was unreal. Secondly, the character wears a very short skirt. I had a few older men follow me and harass me because I was wearing it. Also, it was mid-October in the north of Scotland. So it was freezing cold. Edit. Clarity. Edit 2. Thank you all for showing support and our own experiences. You are a good bunch. Creeper form Minecraft for Halloween. I decided to not cut armholes because creepers have none. Also the costume went over my legs and I had limited mobility. Ryuk or any Shinigami in Death Note because it was a lot of work for people to just think you were from Kiss. The lusty Argonian maid. For obvious reasons. The costume was too much for me and now I'll live my life making inappropriate Todd Howard jokes. All while dressed as a seductive Argonian. I once went to a Halo convention as Church, from Red vs. Blue. Midway through the con. I had one of my friends pretend to kill me. I felt so bad for him. Because everyone was screaming at him. You killed Church. You team killing fucktard. If I ever do it again. I'll claim to be Epsilon instead. No face from Spirited Away. At least not in public. I was accused of racism. Asked to leave the subway. Then taken aside by a very angry subway security employee and had to frantically find a photo of No Face to show him to avoid more trouble. In fairness, he then was very concerned and helpful and advised me to take the costume off before I got myself beaten up by someone. My hometown has a very big Arabic population, so I can see why they thought I was being an asshole. What with the black cloak, black paint on my arms and the gold painted pebbles in my hands. Pyramid Head. A whole slew of reasons ranging from it is very hard to move, see, eat, drink literally anything, and this is the complaint with just the head. Now add in a skirt dress like bottom and the sword. It is very uncomfortable to walk. Hard to sit down, and if the weather makes a slight turn to cold you really have no way to put something on that doesn't look completely ridiculous. Goku. Back in college I had long curly hair. And a girl who was amused by it straightened it and used hairspray to get it to stick straight up. Then I used black spray on it, though it was so big, I would have been better off going Super Saiyan. After college I chopped my hair, so impossible to do it justice again. Sailor Moon. I felt beautiful and powerful. But the groping and upskirt pics, they think they're so sly, were repugnant. Edit. Blush, thanks for all the kind words and sympathy. I don't have any fantastic pics. But this. Honestly. I'm never going to cosplay any guy character who doesn't have. Like. Plate armor or something. Binding did not go well for me, even with a legitimate binder made with folks who bind daily near daily in mind, and I like my lungs working. I dress up as the guy from Ghost with a shitty Pope costume and corpse paint for Halloween in Texas. Almost got my ass kicked by a drunk hick who was upset about the shooting in Pittsburgh that had just happened and overheard me making a joke about selling indulgences. Was a weird night. It wasn't a cosplay, but a Halloween costume for a university party. I went as Two-Face as part of a group Halloween costume, Batman villains, and went all in on the liquid latex face makeup. It looked grotesque. I was distinctly proud of myself. There was a guy from my course that I thought I was definitely in with who was also at the party. It turns out that fake horror burns aren't exactly conducive to drunken MacLeods. And he ended up going off with someone whose costume consisted of a corset, a pair of booty shorts, and a set of cat ears. Me? Butter? No. I dressed up as Robot Unicorn from the Flash game and got hit on by 5 French guys. I'm a straight guy. Also glitter everywhere. Misa from Death Note. No one knew who I was supposed to be. Very cold cosplay and early spiring. Rick from Rick and Morty. I did it back in 2015 and now it's just been done so many times and the Rick and Morty fandom isn't really my crowd. Vash the Stampede. Whole one of my favorite characters of all time. The hair takes way too long to get right. I don't use wigs. Plus I lost the gun prop I made and I don't feel like making a new one. Not me, but a friend I knew did Harley Quinn one year. The same year as Suicide Squad actually, and she got groped by men asking for pictures with her since she did look very much like Margot Robbie and she is naturally attractive. Not only was I disgusted, but she was so upset and infuriated that she no longer wishes to cosplay in anything with even remote levels of sex appeal. Open bracket. I dress up as Bender from Futurama 3 years in a row. But I don't think I will ever do it again because it was such a pain in the ass to see. Here's a picture of me in costume. I did the One Punch Man cosplay at Comic Con. I shit you not, about an hour in, a guy that was playing one of the enemy characters from the first season, I believe the leader of the aliens that invaded on that huge ship, came sprinting down the walkway and punched me square in the stomach as hard as he could. I unconsciously tensed my muscles up so that absorbed a lot of the impact, but if though it looks like I was fine, I felt like both my lungs had collapsed and about 3 ribs punctured my stomach. I cosplayed Rainbow Dash for a con back in 2016 and my god, I kept getting harassed by these middle-aged boomer brinnies and these little kids would not stop tugging at my tail. To be perfectly honest, even though I really like the costume itself, and I'm proud of how it turned out, probably my Scarlet Spider costume I made for C2E2 last year, those lenses fogged up so hard that I walked around the convention functionally blind and being guided around by my friends. Ended up taking the mask off and leaving it hanging around my neck when we got to Artist Alley. Because honestly, what's the point of going there if you can't see all the cool posters prints people are selling? If I can figure out how to solve the fogging issue, I might wear it again. But I'm probably just going to make a cosplay I can actually see out of next time. Edit. Here's a picture of the suit in question. Out of all of the cosplays I've made, the most awkward is definitely Elma from Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. I've always worn her to summer cons and my horn would fall off every time. But the worst time was when it literally broke off and left residual model magic on my forehead. Also, the fabric I used for the tail stained my ass blue. Thanks, Yahan. I did a steampunk cosplay. I made a belt out of chains that wrapped down my leg and had a corset and gold half masquerade mask. The corset was a nightmare to get on by itself. Not to mention making sure my chains didn't break or fall off. Now I cannot remember how to get the corset on, so I gave up, haha. I'm a guy. And the suit wasn't exactly made for male anatomy. It also didn't have any pockets. The wig I wore was a massive pain. Especially since I'm not used to having long hair. It kept getting in front of my eyes. I kept getting hair in my mouth. And it got more and more tangled as the night went on. But the worst part was that going to the bathroom was a massive pain. I'd have to leave the gloves headset with a friend. Go to the bathroom. Take the wig off. Hang the wig up. Unzip the suit from the back. Use the toilet. Zip the suit up. Put the wig back on. Adjust the wig. Then go put the headset and gloves back on. Literally any kid's character. Parents need to control their children at cons. The number of times I've had kids pull at capes or sneeze on my cosplay or whatever is infuriating. Not me. But my friend is Chinese and cosplayed as Maya last year at a convention. Recently we went to one, but she felt like it'd be inappropriate to cosplay as her during the controversy, especially since she's Chinese. I once saw a guy cosplaying as the alien from the Alien vs Predator movies. Wore a full rubber, no idea what it was exactly, suit in what was probably 40 Celsius, 104 Fahrenheit, you guys. I asked him if he didn't feel hot. He said, I'm literally dying. So yeah. He probably won't do that again. Edit. Apparently I should have said he cosplayed as an Xenomorph from the Alien franchise. You know what I mean. Not me, but my cousin once cosplayed MacLeod from the 7 Deadly Sins and someone threw a drink at him asking for him to full counter it. Lynn. From Fire Emblem. The Blazing Blade sub bought the costume and was excited to put it on. Only to realize that you could literally see the top of my underwear and some extra skin above it front be slit on the side. I'm definitely too young for a thong, so I might have to wait a few years to do that one. RIP over $100. Edit. I'm surprised how much advice I'm getting on this, so thank you to anyone who replied. I still have the costume lying around, so I'll remember these for the future. Dressed up as Jack Skellington once and only ever the once. Why so many people wanted to hear me say his quotes was beyond me. Putting on his trademark voice so many damn times actually made me physically sick. Freddy Fazbear from FNAF. Too many little kids bombarding me and being rude. Hated it. My sis and I dressed up as Zatanna for a con. A guy asked to take our pictures together. Our boobs accidentally touched and he outright moaned. Asterisk. Joke's on him. I'm flat cheated, so those boobs were filled with socks. Daft Punk. I decided to use a privacy screen as the screen part and couldn't see more than about 3 feet in front of me at certain mathematically significant angles and 0 degrees in other angles. Not never again. But I was cast from JJBA at a con this month and I'm for sure putting that one away until the weather gets good and hot again.